we're going to talk about those. So if you guys know somebody's experiencing autoimmune conditions, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic health conditions of any kind, cancer, anything, a lot of those things are going to stem from leaky gut issues. And that's what we're talking about today, leaky gut, biofilm, and what you can do to heal that stuff. So hang out for just a second. Let's get some more people in here. And we're gonna do a live today. We're gonna do a quick live. It'll be really simple. So y'all come in, hang out for just a little bit. We're gonna learn some stuff. Grab a pen and paper. There's gonna be some interesting stuff here. It's gonna be a pen and paper. Great. It's a pen and paper kind of day. So if y'all want to learn exactly, what I did, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, really had some severe health conditions, some severe issues, chronic, disease and digestive issues and some really bad things, autoimmune issues and leaky gut and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to heal it. And, I've been helping people along the way do the exact same thing, heal these diseases and issues as well. So I know you guys are experiencing that arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, literally any kind of arthritis you can think of literally stems from your gut. Any kind of chronic health condition like cancer or lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, heart disease, anything, most of those things are going to stem from a leaky gut. Now, I'm not saying that every single time that it's going to be caused only by leaky gut, but it is making it 10 times worse. I do know that if you look at the science of it, that is scientifically at this point, that is clear that, these things are made worse by leaky gut. So if your gut is leaking, food particles, candida, yeast, and mold, and toxins, and things like that in your body 3 times a day, it's going to set off an immune response, which is going to cause you to have an immune reaction. And when you have a consistent, chronic immune reaction, time in, day out, day after day after day after day, eventually you're going to develop what is called an autoimmune disease, lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or something like that. Now, with that being said, there is a trauma factor that goes along with that. There is a toxicity factor. I'm not saying leaky gut is the only cause, but I am saying that out of the clients that I deal with, the research that I've done with the doctors that I've worked with, 90% of the time, leaky gut is a factor. And if you'll fix the leaky gut part, you'll fix the chronic disease part. You'll fix it, and it'll go away. It will simply heal itself. That's the cool thing is I know it works. This is not theory. This is not, hey, that sounds good and, all this stuff that people put on the internet. It's not that. I literally have done it. I did it. I know that this works, and you can do this too. This is really simple. When you're doing these things, all you've got to do, not all you've got to do, but if you'll put your focus on healing your leaky gut, most of those other symptoms will go away. They'll get better. They'll fix, you'll have less, inflammation. You'll have less brain fog. You'll have less problems because you'll get rid of some of the inflammation in the body. You'll get rid of some of the systemic and chronic inflammation. And when you get rid of inflammation, remember, inflammation tends to be one of the root causes of chronic disease, of trauma, or not traumas, but chronic diseases and, autoimmune conditions and things like that. Systemic inflammation over time is what makes us sick and what wears us down and what ages us and what causes us to feel bad and what causes us to have this, that, the other. All those things add into this. All those, that inflammation causes that. And guess what? One of the biggest causes of that is leaky gut. Some people have never heard of leaky gut. Some people have never heard of biofilms. But if you're new here, if you haven't been following me for any amount of time, I know when I do my lives, I get a lot of new followers, a lot of people that have never seen me before. If you've never seen me before, nice to meet you. My name is Josh. I'm the Gut Guide. I show you how to heal chronic diseases and things by focusing on your gut health and healing your gut first. And then a lot of these other symptoms will at least get better, if not completely go away. I've helped hundreds of people at this point. I've seen a lot of people make miraculous recoveries. I've seen people come back from autoimmune conditions and cancers and diseases that they were told by their doctors they couldn't heal. And I've literally seen them take a step-by-step process and do that. I did it. I was left to hang out by the medical community myself 15 years ago. They told me there's nothing else they could do. They were going to have to take out some of my small intestine and gallbladder and do surgeries. And I was on 3 or 4 medications, and there's just nothing that they could do. I proved them wrong. So I know you can too. And that's why I'm here. So if you guys are, ready to learn. We're going to buckle in, and I'm going to teach you guys some stuff today. And we're going to talk about, exactly, the steps that you can take, while healing this and what you can do. And if you need some help, I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do as well. But let's talk about, see a lot of some questions in here that popped up. Psoriasis is from the gut. Yes, that's another thing. Psoriasis, skin issues, a lot of those things stem from a leaky gut, because a lot of that is like psoriasis and eczema. A lot of that, I know this is gross, and if you've never heard this before, go look this stuff up. But if you've never heard this before, a lot of times what happens is you've got candida and yeast and mold inside your small intestine. And when you open up the intestines and they become permeable, you get yeast in the blood. You get candida in the blood. Now you've got yeast and candida flowing around inside your body. And sometimes it'll go somewhere in your body, like say on your arm. You've got psoriasis on your arm. A lot of times what happens is that yeast and mold and candida will go and it'll attach to that area of your arm. And what it does is it creates a biofilm there. And that biofilm is steadily leaching poisons into your body. So therefore, it's got to come out somewhere. So instead of going to the skin, the body is smart. It's got to go out the third kidney, which is your skin. So therefore, if you've got eczema or psoriasis or bad skin issues, a lot of that stems from a leaky gut, because the gut is permeable, letting these things inside the gut. Now, that's not always the issue. There is an issue with liver and stuff like that, but a lot of the time, if you've got skin issues and stuff like that, it stems from your gut leaking and getting food particles and yeast and mold and candida and biofilms and stuff like that actually inside your body. Some people have it worse than others. That's why it's not the exact same for everybody. That's why some people may have a little patch of psoriasis here. I've seen other people literally their hands will be cracking. They're bleeding because they're literally just bleeding because they have so much psoriasis. Everybody's different, and everybody's sensitivity is different. Aaron, psoriatic arthritis. I've dealt with several clients that have the same thing. And the thing is, my friend, if you'll fix that gut, a lot of time it's a biofilm issue. You have biofilms in the gut steadily leaching poisons and causing leaky gut inside your small intestine. And if you'll get rid of that stuff, you can get rid of that. David, that's a great question. Step one, how do you fix your gut? That is a phenomenal question. The first thing that I would do, guys, if I were you, if I were in your shoes and I was like, hey, I got gut issues, I got chronic disease, I got autoimmune conditions, I'm not really sure where to start, I don't really know what to do, the first thing that I would do is go up here and download the free guide that I have for you, because it's got lists, it's got things that you can do, it's got foods that you can eat, it's got things like that you can do, because you're going to forget unless you're taking notes. Go download that free guide. It's on my profile. It doesn't cost you anything. Second thing that I would do is I would focus on taking the things out that are triggering the leaky gut. Things that are triggering your gut to be inflamed so the tight junctions open up. This is what your intestine looks like. You've got 22 feet of intestine going through, and it's supposed to absorb food, and you got little hair-like structures that protrude out of your small intestine, and these little things are called tight junctions. These little hair-like things, millions of them lining your gut, and they reach out up here and they absorb food down in here, and it goes down into the bloodstream. Well, what happens is when you create leaky gut, these tight junctions open up. Now food particles, now gluten particles, now yeast and mold and candida get inside those tight junctions, and they get inside your blood. So what you've got to do, you've got to close those back up. That's number one. Numero uno. Number one, fix that. Stop eating things that are going to trigger that kind of stuff. That's number one. Caffeine, alcohol, gluten. That's a tricky thing, and that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but a lot of people are sensitive to the gluten molecule. I don't think it's the gluten that is necessarily the problem. It's the glyphosate or the Roundup that they're spraying onto the gluten that is working like an antibiotic inside your small intestine to create inflammation and, disrupt your tight junctions. That's what I think personally. But gluten, that's another thing. Dairy, that's another thing. Processed foods, that's another thing. Antibiotics, that's another thing. You got to quit. You got to eliminate, remove the 4 R's. Remove, that's number 1. Replace, that's number 2. Reinoculate, that's 3. And then basically repair, which is 4. And that's not necessarily in order, but those are the 4 R's on what you're going to do if you're going to heal your leaky gut. That's the first thing that you need to do. So first, number 1, this is simple. Write this down, guys. Quit putting in the things that's triggering the gut problems. Now here's the problem. This could be a little tricky for you guys that have candida, because if you've got candida in your gut, they are going to release toxins, chemicals, and hormones that are going to cause you to crave sugar because they need to be fed. So that's going to be a little tricky. That's where willpower, that's where some things are going to have to come into play, and you're going to have to want it more than your cravings to get over that stuff. Because if you've got candida, which most people do, 8, 9 out of 10 people have a candida or yeast mold overgrowth type thing going on in the small intestine. So if you got those things and you start starving them or killing them off, they're going to trigger you with hormones. They're going to release a hormone, and it's going to cause your brain to want to eat sugar. So you've got to be careful there. So you got to, quit feeding the candida. Quit feeding that junk. Quit feeding the stuff inside the gut. It's not going to do anything for you. Quit feeding that stuff. Remove the stuff. Alcohol, caffeine, gluten, anything that is triggering to you. Quit putting that stuff in. That's number one. That's step number one. Aaron, perfect, my friend. That is good. Yep, the free download. There's a free download up there, guys. If you're interested and you want to heal, and you're not sure what to do, this is a perfect way to start. It doesn't cost you anything. Go download the free guide. Aaron just downloaded it. It's a phenomenal way to start this healing journey. And I've got steps in there that you can do today. You can start on it right now. It gives you an in-depth guide on pretty well what you can do. The second thing that you got to do, guys, is you got to remove the triggers. The one of the biggest things that that's a great question. How long does it take to purge everything out before you eat normally again? Everybody's different, my friend. Diane, everybody is a little different. That's a great question. Everybody's a little different on that. Some people, you want to do an elimination diet. An elimination diet, if you're not sure what that is, go to Pinterest, go to YouTube, go to whatever. But do an elimination diet. Basically eat a very plain, simple diet. Very plain, very simple diet. Something very easy to do. Do an elimination diet and eliminate all the triggers or whatever, and introduce those things in. Sometimes it takes people 30 days. Sometimes it takes 6 weeks. Sometimes it takes 8 weeks to get that stuff out of your system. And everybody's a little different. Everybody's body's different. Sometimes it takes a while. If you've had like rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of antibiotics like I did, I had 1 year, I remember when I was 16 or 17 years old, I had 17 rounds of antibiotics every 2 weeks for basically half a year, 17 times in a row, every 2 weeks. Imagine what that does. Every time you take an antibiotic, what it does is it kills your whole gut microbiome. It kills everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. You guys know that garden, when you till up your garden, what's the first thing that comes back? It's the weeds. Same way with your gut. First thing that comes back is going to be the candida, yeast, and mold, and parasites, and all the things that are not good that cause biofilms. Those things are going to be the first things that come back. So guess what's going to happen is those things are repopulating after you take these antibiotics. If you're not, being very vigilant and taking probiotics with it, what's going to happen is all the bad guys are going to latch on to the small intestine. And guess what happens? When they latch on, they create biofilms. And if you're not sure what biofilms are, go look this up. I don't have time to explain it right now. It's massive. But biofilms are created by these pathogenic bacteria and fungi and parasites inside your small intestine. And it's basically like a house. They can get inside this house and they'll hide. You can't do nothing with it. Your immune system can't get to it, and antibiotics can't get to it. Once they create this, it's a extracellular polysaccharide is what it is. It's like this sticky, nasty, gooey protein substances that these things get in and hide. And when they get in these things and hide, guess what? They eat and poop just like you do. So when they are eating and pooping, by stealing your food and your sugar and your iron and all that stuff, by stealing your nutrients, they got to poop it out. So guess what happens? When they poop it out, you've got leaky gut now. That poop from that bacteria and yeast and mold and fungus goes inside your blood. So now guess what happens? Think about if you have bacteria poop flowing around inside your blood all the time, you've got massive amounts of inflammation, my friends. And over time, your body is think about a rain barrel or like a 5-gallon bucket or something like that. Over time, you can pour a glass in there, and a glass of water represents a little bit of inflammation. You can pour another one in there and pour another one in there. But over time, your body's eventually going to overflow. That bucket's going to overflow. And when that bucket overflows, that's when you get lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, Lyme disease, this, that, and the other, whatever. It doesn't matter. Insert disease, chronic diseases, autoinflammatory diseases, digestive issues, Crohn's disease, IBS-C, IBS-B, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's what happens when your body's rain barrel basically flows over, because you've taken antibiotics like most of us. We grew up on antibiotics. I know everybody here has taken rounds and rounds of antibiotics, and the doctor never told us what to do once we take the antibiotics. I never had one doctor say take probiotics with it. Take probiotics while you're taking this antibiotic. Not one. Never. Not one. And I've taken hundreds of rounds of antibiotics. I've never had one tell me to do that. So if you're like me, you've got to repair that stuff. And here's the thing. If you've never repaired it, I guarantee you've got it. You have biofilms. We all have biofilms. Every single person here that's ever had antibiotics, to some degree, we have biofilms. I'm still 15 years later still working on mine. I'm good now. I don't have any diseases anymore. But every now and then, if you've ever had stomach trouble, or if you've ever had digestive trouble, or if you've ever had, some kind of issue and you've healed it, you still got to be careful, because it doesn't take very much. If I go eating, any amount of processed sugar, I'm human too. I like a little bit of, processed sugar every now and then. If you go to eating that, that's a trigger for me. If I eat too much, I will instantly start feeling bad. I'll start getting some symptoms back. So you can heal it, but it's one of those things is you've always got to be on alert from that point forward. If you ever heal something, you've got to be careful. It's like if you heal cancer. People heal cancer all the time naturally. If you ever heal it, you got to be on your P's and Q's and watching what you're doing so you don't go back and do it again, because you're going to be triggered automatically by some things like that. So you got to be careful. So it goes back. I kind of got off on the rabbit trail of everything here. So here's the thing, guys. If you've ever taken antibiotics, more than likely there is a great possibility that you've got biofilms inside your gut. Here's the reason. Here's another thing. I talk to women all the time. And it's maybe a little bit, personal, but I'm not going to mention any names here, but I have women all the time talk to me that they have chronic bacterial vaginal infections over and over and over and over and over, and bacterial infections and fungal infections as well, all in the vagina, because what happens is biofilms set up. So therefore, when these biofilms, if candida ever gets in the vagina, which it's there naturally, but your immune system, they keep it together. Same way with inside your gut. If you ever get a big colony of candida, yeast or mold or something like that, they're going to set up shop together. They're going to get together and they're going to grow one unit, and they're going to create what is a biofilm, and they're steadily going to reproduce inside that biofilm. That's why you have chronic conditions that never go away. That's why you have chronic bacterial infections that never go away, or yeast infections that keep coming and going back over and over and over and over and over again, because what happens is those biofilms, you can't get rid of them unless you do the specific things that you got to do to get rid of them, like enzyme therapy, like serrapeptase and nattokinase and lumbrokinase and all the amylase and cellulase and all the different things that break these things down. Enzyme therapy is one of the ways that you can do that. So if you're not specifically going after biofilms and you've had rounds of antibiotics and you never really went after the biofilms, I guarantee you have them. And there's research, from a doctor that created the company Biome. That's Biohm, Dr. Ganud. It's a Lebanon name. Is one of the world's leading researchers on this particular topic, and he says 80 to 90% of the population that has had antibiotics has biofilms. And this guy's written hundreds and been cited in thousands of papers. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's been around the block, a while. I mean, I'm sure he's somewhat bought and paid for, but he'll at least tell you, that biofilms are an issue. So you got to be careful with the biofilms. Biofilms will steadily poison you, and if you've never gone after them, more than likely you have them. Here's a tip for you guys. Write this down. This is going to blow your mind, and this is just going to back up everything I'm saying. If you want to research this and you want to understand this on a deeper level, go to YouTube, type in "Why am I still sick?" That's YouTube, Why Am I Still Sick? It's a documentary on biofilms, but it's not necessarily on gut plaque, which is biofilms. It's on other plaques that are basically biofilms that get inside your body. They can get in your heart, Biofilms get in your heart and cause heart disease. They get in your lungs and cause cystic fibrosis. They get inside, your brain and cause Alzheimer's and autism and all kinds of different things. They get inside your sinuses and cause sinus infection. If you've ever had a chronic sinus infection that you can't get rid of, it's more than likely because a biofilm is set up in your sinuses, and it'll go away for a little while. When you start taking antibiotics and when you start taking things to kind of knock it back, they retract inside that, basically in that side that, it's like a sticky substance or whatever, and they retract inside of it. And it's not a big substance. It's not like you can see it really with the naked eye. It's not something that you can really see. So if you have somebody go in your sinuses and look, you're not really going to see it. If they go inside and touch it, they're not going to see it. This is almost microscopic. But if you've ever had a sinus infection that you can't get rid of, a lot of the times that's biofilm that's stuck inside the sinuses. And guess what? More than likely, it was caused by antibiotic use. When antibiotics, started becoming, really prevalent on the scene in the 30s and 40s, that's when these health conditions that we experience now, like leaky gut, all the things, chronic health conditions, that's when they started going through the roof. That's when the correlation started going through. I'm not saying antibiotics. I'm not necessarily against antibiotics. I'm against the doctors giving 17 rounds of antibiotics in a row without telling you any negative side effects of it. Read the black box label on antibiotics. I'm not saying, they're here for a reason, and they do have their place in the medical community. But it's not something that you should do like they did me, like the nurse practitioner that did me 17 times in a row. 17 times in a row for 1 year, I had antibiotics. Never once was I told how to go back and take probiotics, or hey, you may have some issues with this later on in life, or this may cause leaky gut, or this may cause an autoimmune condition, or this may cause a chronic disease with you, which it did. I had to go figure that out for myself. So I hope I'm letting you guys understand this and at least sparking something in your mind for you to go and be able to research as well, guys. If you're just now kind of joining in here, and if you're curious and want to know and want to dig deeper on the steps on exactly what to do to get rid of biofilms and how to get rid of leaky gut, there's a free guide right up here. Click on this picture you see right up there, right above my finger. Click on that free guide. There's a free guide up there. It doesn't cost you anything. There's also, I just finished my new ebook that goes deep on this topic. I'm talking, it goes on exactly what to do, the step-by-step formula, the foods to eat, what not to do, what to take, when to take it. You guys can go download that as well. I've got a free guide, and then I've got the other download on the ebook if you're interested in that. Go check it out. If nothing else, just go download the free guide. It doesn't cost you anything. Literally doesn't cost you anything, and maybe it'll spark something in your mind to start taking some action on. Hey, maybe your autoimmune condition or chronic disease or cancer or lung issues or heart disease or whatever, maybe that's stemming actually from, gut issues or gut inflammation. It's one of the biggest causes. 80 to 90% of diseases are either directly caused by leaky gut issues, or they are made worse tenfold by basically the leaky gut issues. Leaky gut it's one of the biggest things that most people aren't talking about. There's some doctors out there that are talking about it, but most people aren't really discussing, the severity and the consequences of leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is not the end-all, cure-all for everything. I understand that. I know there's going to be some people on here that's saying, I tried healing that, or I did this, I did that, whatever. It's not necessarily the end-all, be-all, because there is a toxicity issue. I see a lot of people with mercury poisoning. That has nothing to do with necessarily leaky gut, although it does cause leaky gut. Mercury poisoning is a big issue. Toxicity issue, a glyphosate issue, also another leaky gut issue. A lot of these things, you can get toxicities from other places, but a lot of the time those toxicities go inside your body and create leaky gut. So it's kind of a byproduct of toxicity, and then there's traumas, emotional traumas, emotional traumas as well. I'm very big on that. Emotional traumas will impact you as well. If you go and look at, this is just kind of an extra for you guys, just kind of some out there a little bit. It's not woo-woo, but it's some out there stuff, if you're not familiar with this. Emotional traumas from the age of 0 to 7, 8 years old as a child. If you have severe emotional traumas with your parents, especially, emotional issues, there was a study done by the Center of Disease Control, the CDC. It was called the Adverse Childhood Events Study, the ACE study, the ACE study. You can go look it up. the more adverse childhood events or traumas that you had from 0 to 8 and up to 10ish, the more you had, every one you had after one increases your chances by 50 to 60% of having a chronic disease later on in life. Now, that kind of gets into the thing of where, does your body store emotions and traumas? Yes, it does. You can go read the book, the body keeps the score and the body code, and there's plenty of scientific evidence out there, but that's kind of getting out there. Talked a lot here. All right. I see somebody asking about if you guys want to download the download, it's right up here. Click on the picture right up there, and then click on the picture again, and it'll take you to my profile, and then click on the store link right there. Scroll down a couple of scrolls, and it's right there. You can't miss it. Free guide. The new ebook is at the top or whatever. The ebook will change your life. The ebook is literally what is going to literally change your life if you'll let it. If you'll take it and focus on your gut health for the next, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, you'll be a completely different person. It's that powerful. That's how, that's what my clients do. That's where I see the biggest results with my clients are. We've done detoxes, we've done teas, we've done an all fruit diet, we've done a lot of different things. I've experimented with a lot of different things over the years, working with clients, especially in this last year. Did a lot of different things, but the thing that I saw the most when my clients healed things like autoimmune diseases and things like that is because they focused on their gut health as the number one, focused on the gut health, and then did other things on top of that. They dealt with the emotional traumas, the physical traumas, things like that, the physical, chemical, and emotional issues, but they focused on healing the leaky gut. Because think about it like this. The reason leaky gut is so badass and the reason it causes so many problems is think about what you do 3 to 5 times a day. You eat and you drink. So guess what happens? It's got to be digested. And your small intestine is for digestion. But if it is not, if it's inflamed, and you eat 3 meals a day and you're steadily, those food particles are going inside your body and your body sees it as a foreign invader, guess what? That's a problem. Now you got systemic inflammation flowing around your body 3 times a day. Some people eat snacks. If you eat a snack, that's going to trigger it. Every time you eat, if you've got gut issues, there's going to be food particles that go inside your body, gluten particles, meat protein particles, amino acids, things that don't belong inside the body, inside the bloodstream, are going to go inside there because your tight junctions are not tight anymore. So therefore, you're going to get, you're literally poisoning yourself by eating. And you got to eat. I'm not saying, you got to fast or anything like that, because you can't do that. But what I'm saying is, by living, you're poisoning yourself because your gut is leaky and malfunctioning, basically. It's letting things through that don't need to be through. Yeast, when yeast gets in the blood, guess what? The immune system can handle it sometimes. The immune system will handle it. But guess what? If your body is steadily has yeast inside of it, guess what's happening? It's steadily going inside, or if your body steadily has yeast inside the blood, your immune system is on alert all the time. And guess what happens? Your immune system gets tired too. It gets wore down. The receptors get wore down. Things get wore down as well inside the immune system. So you got to be careful. That's why I'm saying when you eat, you're poisoning yourself. When you're, the bacteria and the yeast and the mold and the fungi, they're poisoning you. All these things are poisoning you, unintentionally. You're not doing this on purpose, but all this stems from bad foods that we eat. Things that are sprayed with glyphosate. If you guys don't know what glyphosate is, go run down that rabbit hole. Roundup, was sprayed on our crops, GMOs and stuff like that. That stuff works as an antibiotic inside your small intestine and destroys your gut microbiome. It destroys your gut flora. It destroys the tight junctions. Go look this up. Go look up Stephanie Seneff and her work on glyphosate. It's going to blow your mind. Like, you probably don't want to go down this rabbit hole, to be honest with you. But if you do, you'll understand why your body is in the shape that it's in. So everything that you eat, all of our food, 60 to 70% of our food, even organic food now, has traces of glyphosate on it. Roundup. You're eating a poison every time you eat unintentionally. causing digestive issues, guys. That's why it's so important that you choose organic food, that you choose grass-fed, pasture-raised beef and chicken and lamb and stuff like that, and eggs and stuff like that. If you're going to eat animal proteins and stuff like that, that's why it's so important that you do that, that you eat, that you on a consistent daily basis, that you drink good, quality grass-fed beef bone broth, to help the digestive tract, and to take L-glutamine to help seal the gut back up, and to take, bovine colostrum on a daily basis, and to cut down on processed sugars and things like that. Those are all things that you can do on a daily basis. If you're not doing those things and being active on a daily basis, it's just like anything else. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not working on your health on a daily basis, you're getting poisoned, and we can't help it. It's literally coming from the air. It's coming from the water. It's coming from our clothes. It's coming from the food. It's coming literally from everywhere, from the skies. It's literally coming in every direction. So therefore, you've got to make sure, one, you're detoxing, and two, you're working on your gut health every single day. Wow. Talked a lot. You guys have any questions? If you guys got questions, now's the Q&A time. I'm gonna take some questions. My kid needs some help to heal the gut. Sky SP. I'm not sure how you say that, but go download the free guide. Hop on the free guide, my friend. That's where I would start. Start with that. Hop on that. The kid. Thank you, T. Gregory. I appreciate you. Yeah, we can talk about autoimmune diseases 100%. 100%, guys. If you need help and you're not sure where to go, and you got here late and you're not sure what to do, and you're ready to take the next step and heal your gut, go download the free guide up there. Click on the picture right up here, right up there. Click on that picture. It'll take you to another picture. Click on that picture again, and then it'll take you to my profile page, and then click on my store. Scroll down. There's a free guide there. There's also an ebook that goes into super depth, there as well. So yeah, go download that. That's where I would start. As far as autoimmune conditions and things like that, I don't want to make any medical claims on here, because I have people get really bent out of shape when I do that. But as far as autoimmune conditions, I'll tell you this. I had them. I had two of them. I had severe leaky gut. I had, was diagnosed with, IBS and Crohn's disease, both. And I got rid of all of them. And I've had, hundreds of clients do the exact same thing by focusing on your gut health. So yes, I believe you can completely reverse it. Now, it may take you a little time. It may take you 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, depending on, your eating habits and your lifestyle and stuff like that. And your stress. Stress plays a huge role, guys. That's probably one of the biggest causes of leaky gut, is actually stress. Stress-related issues. Those are all, really big things. But yes, in my opinion, yes, I think you can completely reverse it. I've seen it hundreds of times, working with the doctors that I've worked with, and the thousands of clients that they've worked with. It can be reversed. You've got to be consistent with it, and you've got to be proactive. You can't do it. You can't passively do it. It's not something you can passively do. You've got to wake up every day and say, hey, how am I going to heal my gut today? How can I contribute to the healing of my gut disease, or my autoimmune condition, or my rheumatoid arthritis, or my kidneys failing, or my liver failing, or my whatever? It doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's all disease is the same. It's just it's a different area, and it hits a different area for everybody. Me, it hit my gut. It hit my bowel issues and digestion. That's where it really hit me the hardest. Other people, it can be kidneys. A lot of people have kidney issues. I deal with people that have kidney issues left and right. Kidney issues stem from the gut as well. Chronic inflammation in the blood and in the body. Guess what? If you got chronic inflammation, if you've got things in the blood that don't need to be there, what filters the blood? The kidneys. So if you've got kidney issues, more than likely you've got a leaky gut. If you've got leaky gut and you're steadily putting in things into the body that your kidneys have to work extra hard to filter out, that's going to put extra strain on your kidneys. So therefore, over time, it's going to wear them out. That's why so many people have kidney issues now. That's why dialysis centers are popping up everywhere. That's why, I bet it's 7 out of 10 clients that I work with personally that have kidney issues. Kidneys. It's that serious. Kidney issues, liver issues, small intestine issues, IBS, all that stuff, all stems from that. Diverticulitis, yes. Michelle, diverticulitis, 100%. That's basically inflammation. Any advice on to lower the A1C number? That's a great question. Intermittent fasting would be a great place to start. Also, the gut health also has a lot to do with your pancreas, has a lot to do with glucose, has a lot to do with your insulin. So, I would really focus on your gut health, your kidney health. Adrenals as well play in, a role in the insulin and the glucose issues as well, in kidneys. So, leaky gut, I would focus on looking at your gut health. That's the first place that I would look at. Then, intermittent fasting. That would be another great place to start. That's not necessarily my specialty, but I know that's what, I've helped people and that's what we've done. Black seed oil, that's another thing. If you got a high A1C, black seed oil. Take black seed oil 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, a tablespoon every single day. Do that for 30 days, and that right there just in itself will make a big difference. Autism also reversible when you heal the gut and inflammation is gone. That's a tricky topic. Many doctors have been killed over that particular topic, but I agree with that. I definitely think the autism can definitely be improved upon by the gut. They did. There's one of the leading researchers on autism and the gut function. Every single child with autism has gut issues, has some form of either, dysbiosis, in the gut, or leaky gut, or something going on. Every single one. And that's by one of the world's, leading doctors that was actually killed this last year for this topic we're talking about here. His name was Rashid Buttar. You guys can go look him up. He wrote one of the best books, one of the books that actually changed my life, and it was 9 Steps to Keep the Doctor Away. You guys can go still find that on Amazon. It's a great book, great place to start. Talks about autism in children and a lot of stuff like that. 9 Steps to Keep the Doctor Away. So anyway, went down a rabbit hole there. Oh, let's see. Do you ever have expecting mothers as clients? Yes, actually, last year I think we had a couple, 100%. We had a couple that were expecting. We got to be a little bit more careful when we're doing that because of detoxing and stuff like that. But 100%. 100%. And you should be working on your gut health while you're pregnant. That's one of the biggest reasons that women have trouble after they have the child, is because when you have the baby, you give up so many minerals and you give your vitamins, and you literally give everything to that child. Your body doesn't have the minerals it needs to keep the gut function in check. And what happens is your gut gets out of balance, and that a lot of the time that's what causes, postpartum depression. Remember, most of your neurotransmitters like serotonin, acetylcholine, GABA, dopamine, all that's made, most of that is made in your gut. And that's easy to find. That's an easy PubMed study to find. Most of that stuff is made in the lining of your gut. So when mothers have their children and they give all their minerals away, that disrupts their gut lining because they don't have minerals to replace it. They're not eating a good diet. So therefore, the microbiome is out of balance. You're not producing the serotonin. So guess what? Baby blues kick in. Now it's time, that time. And, usually in 2, 4, 6 weeks, mothers kind of get back in normal because they're eating foods again. They're starting to feel better. They're starting to get a little bit better. I've seen women, though, that go months and months and months and months, and never really actually get over the baby blues because the gut microbiome is never really reset. Let's see. Can you take flaxseed oil when pregnant? 100%. You should. I would take it a step further than flaxseed oil. I would take a good cod liver oil instead of flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil is really high in polyunsaturated fats. In some degree, they're okay. But it's really high in that, PUFAs, and there's a lot of studies out on PUFAs and stuff like that. But I would go cod liver oil personally myself. That's what I would do. Lots of questions. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Can you name the book again? The book was called 9 Steps to Keep the Doctor Away. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. That's it. What's a good diet for when you're pregnant to have a healthy baby? Minerals, Cheryl. Minerals are going to be your biggest thing when you're having the baby. Eat things that are the highest form of minerals. Eat plenty of fruits. plenty of vegetables. Personally, if this is not your cup of tea, if you're not an animal products person, that's fine. But the best multivitamin, in my opinion, and what I recommend, for women, and the women that we see that have the healthiest pregnancies are women that take like desiccated beef liver capsules, which is, one of the highest forms of vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, so desiccated beef liver, Shilajit, pearl powder. That's another good thing. That's another great thing, to have a healthy pregnancy as well. Just try to eat, high protein. If you like animal products, try to eat grass-fed steak and beef and, things like that. Stay away from, processed foods and things like that. But if I were you and I had when we do kids again, I'm not obviously going to do it, but when we do that again, we're going to cod liver oil, beef liver capsules, beef organs and stuff like that. Those are going to be the things, minerals are going to be the things that you need to have a healthy pregnancy, because you're going to give your baby all that stuff. And what you need to do is you need to be, one, taking in enough so you have enough for yourself, but then have enough for your baby as well, so you can afford to give that stuff away. Because remember, you can't give away what you don't have. How did this get? I don't know how this got on babies here. BJ, Crohn's, 100%. I was diagnosed with that same thing. It's a leaky gut issue most of the time, or it's an emotional trauma. If he was abused or had a sexual trauma as a child, that may be one of the things. But also the things that we're eating are causing IBS and Crohn's. Go download the free guide up there. Click on my picture and go to my profile. There's a free guide and an ebook that you can get. The ebook is going to be better, because I just wrote the ebook. The ebook is literally, it's like 160 pages plus diet, plus supplements and everything. That's where I would recommend going. Get the ebook, but there's a free guide. If you just want to check that out, get the free guide. Start there and do that for 30 days. You can make improvements with the free guide if you'll do it for 30 days and stick with it. Even your husband with Crohn's disease. BJ, do that. Glad to see you live. What is up, Karen? Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. I'm glad to see you too. Hello from North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina here. But yeah, how often do I go live? Right now, I haven't been going live as much as I like, because I've been working on my ebook. That literally has been one of the hardest things that I've actually ever had to do, is actually write a book. If you guys have never written a book, go write a book. It's a phenomenal process. You'll learn a lot about yourself, but haven't been going live as much as I want to, but I'm going to try to go live at least twice a week now. Maybe more. I'd like to go live once a day, an hour a day. That way you guys can get on and we can talk about this kind of stuff. But yeah, 100%. 100%. Can photosensitive epilepsy be healed? A lot of the time, that's stemmed from a gut health issue as well, because a lot of the time, if you got epilepsy, it's usually, not always, go do your own research. Again, not medical advice. I'm not giving you medical advice. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and this is not substituted for that. But I have worked with a lot of doctors, and I've worked with a lot of clients and got a lot of good results, and I've healed myself. So I do know a couple things about this. A lot of the time with epilepsy, it's a neurotransmitter issue. Where are your neurotransmitters made? The gut. Now, it's not always the case. Do your own research, and I'm, photosensitive epilepsy. I'm not exactly, familiar with that, but epilepsies, they all kind of have the same thing to do with each other. So go check it out. Just follow up what I'm saying, just do your own research with all that. But yeah, I would start focusing on your gut health as well. And if you can't, if it can't be healed, you can make it 10 times better. I guarantee you that, 100%. And I believe, this is my personal opinion here, and I hope you guys, take this as well, but I believe every single disease known to man can be healed. To an extent. Now, there's a certain extent that you can't come back from, but I believe that everything can be improved and healed because your body created it. You created it, you can get rid of it. I've seen miracle things. I'm a walking miracle. I am a literal walking miracle. Over this last 15 years, the things that I have done to my body and healed from my body, I am a walking miracle. I really am. I'm a walking miracle here, and you guys are too. You guys, each and every one of you, have the power of the divine creator inside of you. So therefore, you can create healing for yourself. You can heal yourself. You just got to know how to do it. You just got to know the basics and the principles. And the principles that I always say start with is focus on your gut health first. Then I would focus on, gut health needs to be first. That's not the only thing. Toxicity issues are a big, making sure you're getting the right nutrients. Another huge thing is emotional traumas. Most people don't even know about this. Emotional traumas will cause disease as well. Holy cow, there's 15 messages here. All right, let's see. Trying to answer all the questions I can. Karen, I am preaching the Bible. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. You're 100%. That's exactly right. Gut health. First thing I did was include healthy fiber in fruits and vegetables. 100%. You can do this vegan style if you want to. 100%. And some people, in fact, I would encourage people to actually probably do that. Try to eat less animal foods. And if you're going to eat animal products during this time in your gut healing phase, you have got to make sure that you are eating grass-fed organic food. You cannot eat that shit that comes from the store, that Tyson chicken. You can't eat that stuff. You can't eat pork and Tyson chicken and the, conventional beef. If you're going to eat meat and liver and stuff like that, you have got to go with the good stuff. You've got to purchase the good stuff. You got to. There's no way around it. You're going to poison yourself if you don't. You're going to poison yourself. Yep, Tony, all disease starts in the gut. Candida overgrowth, always. That's what most people have. I would say 80 to 90% of people right now, to some degree, because we have all grown up on antibiotics. I don't know if you guys have been in here, with me this whole time, but about 15 years ago, I was put on 17 rounds of antibiotics every 2 weeks, 17 of amoxicillin. So I'm sure I'm antibiotic resistant right now, but that created a candida overgrowth that created biofilms in my body. So yeah, we've all had biofilms. We've all got biofilms. We've all got candida overgrowth in our body due to the antibiotics. And if you haven't had antibiotics and you eating conventional bread and stuff like that, you're getting glyphosate in your diet, which then kills your gut microbiome and causes dysbiosis, and then in turn causes a candida, mold, yeast, fungal issue. Insulin resistance a lot of the time again begins in the gut, because a lot of everything is dependent on the gut. Your pancreas, the beta cells inside your pancreas, all of that stuff is dependent on your gut health. And if you've got systemic inflammation in your body all the time, your insulin's going to go up. Therefore, your sensitivity is going to go down. Therefore, you're going to become more insulin resistant. Focus on your gut health. Focus on intermittent fasting. Focus on, pancreas strengthening, things if you're gonna do that. Quit putting in triggering foods. A lot of the time, insulin is triggered. Insulin can be triggered by triggering foods. That's a scientific study you guys can go look up. That's easy to find. If you eat foods that are triggering, like gluten and peanuts and seed oils and, things like that, that can trigger insulin in your body, which then will cause insulin resistance over time if you're not working on that or whatever. Ooh, that was a good one. Good live. Makes me hot. Let's see. I know, Paula, here's the problem with the teas. I had a lot of people here recently email me and ask me about my tea. The reason the teas I'm having trouble with is because, here's why. If you guys bought tea from me before, we were having trouble with the supply chain getting tea. Then, at the same time, we realized that the company that we were using, I don't really want to mention who they are, but the company we were using started sourcing a lot of their ingredients from China. And I don't want to compromise the quality of the ingredients, so I had to stop. And because I can't find a good wholesaler that had comparable prices, and if I buy from another wholesaler, then I got to raise the prices, and it's already expensive in the first place, so I don't want to do that. And I feel like it's best for me just to not have too many irons in the fire right now. There's a lot of good tea suppliers out there. There's a lot of good people out there, and I just was not able to keep up with it and do all the things that I need to do for my family. So that's why, if you guys are wanting the tea, I still got my supply of tea, but I just don't have the time or a good supplier to supply you guys with tea anymore. There's some. You make your own. You guys can do this. Make your own. Make your own tea. It's very easy to do. Make your own teas. Go to. You guys can go to. What's that website? There? No, Etsy.com. There's a lot of good tea makers on Etsy.com. Make sure it's organic, but no, the supplier, the wholesale supplier. Star West Botanicals. StarWestBotanicals.com. You guys can go there and make your own tea. Mix all your portions, 1 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, and typically you'll be fine. Most of the time, 1-to-1 ratio, and you'll be fine. Making tea right now. That's exactly right. That's right. Yep. That's it, Derek. That's it, my friend. Exactly. Strengthen the pancreas, fructose, and alkaline fruits bypass the pancreas. Yeah, that's 100% true, Tony. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that Tony, my guy, is that that fruit sugar, fructose actually bypasses the pancreas. So fruit sugar does not contribute to insulin resistance. Fruit sugar actually is used up by osmosis, basically through the liver. Basically, it bypasses the pancreas. So fruit sugar is really good. It doesn't, it can feed candida though. I will say that, and I am a living testament of that. I'm a living testament of that. If you have too much fruit sugar, because I did an all fruit diet last year and I had a candida flare up, and I should not have had a candida flare up. But fruit sugar, if you go overboard and do too much juice and too much sugar, it can feed it. So you got to be very strategic on how you do that. You got to make sure that you're taking the herbs and all the stuff that go along with that if you're going to do a fruit diet or whatever to do that. But I love fruit. I love fruit. Fruit is one of my favorite fruit. Gosh, I eat some. I still eat fruit. I still eat a little animal stuff as well, but I love fruit, guys. So guys, let's see, whole fruit. Exactly. You got to have the fiber. That's the trick. And that's the thing is, juice and stuff like that. Juice will still bypass the pancreas, but if you do enough juice, if you drink too much juice too quick, then it's got to go through the small intestine. So that's where you get into issues when you start feeding the candida and stuff like that. Guys, if you're not sure, if you hopped in here, I've been on this live for an hour. We're talking about autoimmune diseases and chronic health issues and cancer and stuff like that, and how it's all tied to your gut health. If you're ready to take the next step and you want to see how all that stuff is tied to your gut health, I've got a free guide right up here. You can go download it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Go download it. I also just finished my ebook. It's so in-depth. It's like 160 pages on biofilms and how to kill the biofilms in your gut that are created by antibiotics and all the other stuff, and how to heal leaky gut as well. Everything. It's all there. It's almost one of those things that if you buy that book, you really almost don't have to do other research. Although I do recommend, don't listen to just one person on the internet. Do not listen to just one person. Although if you trust them, that's one thing. But don't listen to some random person on the internet that you don't know. You need to back up what they say. Listen to them, but you need to back up what they say as well. Do your own research. Be a thinker. Think for yourself. That's what I'm here to teach you, is how to think for yourself. That's what my books do. I teach you how to think for yourself. You can't just listen to what I say or Yaki Awaken says or what Dr. Moore says. You got to think for yourself. Listen, you've got the power of God is within you. God literally lives inside of you. Inside of you. You have the same power that I have and any other healer around the world has. You got that same power and that same strength. You just got to listen to it. We've been trained from grade school that listen to authority, listen to somebody else, listen to this. The pastor says, listen to me. That's my biggest thing with church is listen to me. I'm going to teach you about God. You ain't got to do all that. You have all the wisdom and the power within you already. You already know this stuff. You already know how to heal. We've been taught to give our power away to the doctors, to the medical community. And I'm not knocking the medical community, but we do have a problem with giving all of our power away to everybody. Be your own healer. Like Tony, make your own medicine. Be your own healer. Be your own shaman. Be your own medicine man. Be your own, herbalist. Do it yourself. You got the same power. I'm just giving you your power back. That's all I'm doing. That's all my books do. That's all my free guides up here do. That's all my books do. I just show you how to take your power back and do your own healing. I'm not healing you. I'm not doing anything. I don't do anything. You do it. You're the one that puts in the work. I don't do nothing. Exactly. We're all healers. We all have the power of God literally within us. We are all pieces of God. So that means, therefore, by law, by how it's said, by if you read the Bible, literally the first book of it says you've got the power within you. You were created by the mind. Your mind creates. You are a creator. You are a healer. You're a medicine person. Heal yourself. I'll just show you how. Best herbs for lowering blood pressure. That's a great question. Best herbs for lowering blood pressure. Magnesium is actually really good for that. A lot of the time, the blood pressure, hibiscus. Hibiscus is a really good herb for blood pressure, but a lot of the time, chronic high blood pressure is because of a stress response. How stressed are you? What does your stress look like? Are you stressed at work all the time? Are you stressed at home all the time? It's usually it's a sympathetic response. You got parasympathetic and a sympathetic nervous state. That's a sympathetic response. That's a response to the environment that your body creates. It's kind of like fight or flight. And if you're in that, that's a great place. That's a great place. That's the thing that causes your issues is going to be this sympathetic response. It's fight or flight. Usually cortisol being released. But what Tony said here is dandelion roots. That's a really good one. I like another good one is horsetail. Horsetail is really good. Focus on your kidneys. Nettle seed. Nettle seed is really good. Dandelion root is really good. Dandelion leaf is really good. Horsetail is really good. Focus on that. But also, high blood pressure has a root in gut health as well. Remember, if you're plugging up the kidneys because the guts are leaking, you're leaking stuff in there and you're making the kidneys work overtime, guess what controls the blood pressure? The adrenals and the kidneys. Both of those. So if you're really overburdening those with stress, that's where I would start. Look at your stress level. Are you really stressed out? How stressed are you? What's causing stress in your life? Get into a parasympathetic nervous state. Meditation. Meditate every day, whether, whatever it is. Take 5 minutes and just breathe in and out. Box breathing. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds. 4 seconds out, hold for 4 seconds. Literally do that for 5 minutes. It'll change your life and it doesn't cost you a dime. Won't cost you a dime. It's free. Meditation will change your life. And don't make it weird. Don't make it, something that it's not. It's nothing weird. Meditation is simply being observant of your thoughts. That's all. Observe your thoughts. Stress can make any health condition worse. Yep, 100%. 100%, guys. 100%. What is up, GG? How y'all doing? So, we're talking about autoimmune conditions and chronic health conditions and rheumatoid arthritis, and pretty much any kind of health condition we put a name to is tied back to leaky gut. Leaky gut is usually one of the cause, or it's making it worse. If you want to fix that, simply focus on your gut health. Do things that are going to focus on your gut health. Like, this is if you're going the animal product route, which I really like animal products in small portions when you're healing the gut because of, the things that come along with it, like gelatin, beef collagen, colostrum. Those things are very, very good at healing leaky gut issues. When you take the right supplements and the right type of nutrition on with it, adding in fruits and vegetables and the right type of diet and cutting out stress and sugar, those are the things that help you heal the leaky gut. And if you need help with that and you're not taking notes, go download my free guide. Click on my picture, click on the picture again, go to my store on my profile page, and down at the bottom there's a free guide. It's going to blow your mind. There's also an ebook there as well. Good morning. So y'all got any questions? I'm going to hop off here. I wanted just to do a quick live, let you guys know. If you keep up with me, a lot of people that do my lives are new, but if you've been keeping up with me for any time, my ebook is done that I have been talking about for 6 weeks. It's done. It's ready. If you're on my email list, you got it. You see it. It's there. Go download it. It's going to be one of the last books you'll ever need to change your life. The book is so powerful. It's 15 years of research. Hundreds of clients I've worked with, hundreds of doctors that I've studied with or studied under, a biology degree in nutrition. There's so many different things that go into that that go into this book. It literally will change your life and the trajectory of your life, and it'll change the trajectory of your family's legacy and your legacy, because you will actually have the power to thrive again. You'll have your health back. You'll feel better. You'll have energy. You'll have that life again to do the things that you want to do and have the energy that you want to have, and you won't be sick all the time. Because guess what? If you're sick all the time and you got chronic diseases, you don't feel good. You don't have your true divine power. You don't have the true power within you because you're sick. You don't feel good. Anybody knows that. If you've ever had the flu, you don't feel right. You don't feel good. You don't have your divine power. Your live will... We have detected inactivity. What in the world? Okay, that was weird. That was weird. All right. Arnie, yes, go get it. Colostrum, not necessarily. Yeah, you can take colostrum on an empty stomach. It's perfectly fine, 100%. But at the same time, if you're going to drink coffee, which I don't recommend you do if you're trying to heal leaky gut, but if you're going to drink coffee, at least make it good. Add, some, grass-fed butter to it. Add some, beef gelatin to it. Add some colostrum to it. Add some collagen to it. Add things that are at least going to help you if you're going to drink coffee. But you can make it in smoothies, the colostrum. Put it in a smoothie. Take it on an empty stomach. Really doesn't matter. The colostrum is going to make it where it needs to. An empty stomach probably would be better instead of on a heavy meal. So yeah, just, first thing in the morning, that would be a great thing to do. Great thing to do. Turkey tail, that's another one, Tony. That's exactly right. Turkey tail is a fantastic, one of the best anti-cancer mushrooms that are actually out there. Paul Stamets actually said, the guy that created Perfect Fungi or Fungi Perfect, whatever it is, the mushroom guy, Paul Stamets actually said that his mother healed like stage 4 breast cancer by doing literally nothing other than taking turkey tail, is what it was. Turkey tail mushroom. Didn't change her diet, didn't do anything else, oxygen therapy, didn't eat a piece of fruit, didn't take anything else, just took turkey tail and literally healed stage 4 breast cancer. Andy, I love it. Off topic, but I like your beard. How do you trim the sides? That's a great question. That is a great question. Scissors. I take scissors and just kind of fluff it out, and you'll take like a comb and just fluff it out one way, and you'll just trim off the long stray hairs, and then kind of fluff it back down. That's how you do it. Didn't think I would be getting a beard question, but I like the question there. I'm kind of an open book. I'll try to tell you anything I can, but Karen, go to, it's either Fungi Perfect or Perfect Fungi. I can't remember, but that's a great place to start. It's a company. They got turkey tail. Just make sure it's organic turkey tail. There's a lot of places you can get it online. Just make sure you're not sourcing it from China. Look for the origin. Make sure it doesn't come from China. You can find it if you live in the sticks like me. Go out in the woods. It grows on the tree. Turkey tail is free. Right now, especially if it's, getting into springtime here, you can go get it for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Learn what turkey tail is and go scavenge. Go to a forest. Go to woods. Turkey tail grows everywhere. That's the cool thing about turkey tail. Is zero carb a good place to start to heal leaky gut? Dilly, yeah, that's a really good place. I don't know that zero carb, because you're cutting out, good things like berries and, some vegetables. I'm not a huge fan. I do like vegetables, but be careful. When you're healing leaky gut, I would go with the lower carb vegetables, and especially lower carb fruits and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a great place to start. 100%. 100% is a great place to start. And another great place to start, go download the free guide, Dilly. There's a free guide up there. I got a free guide on my profile in my stand store. What I would suggest you do, Dilly, is download the ebook I just wrote. That would be what I would suggest, because it's got literally all the steps and all the different things that go along with it. And I literally give you everything. There's 168 pages, and it's 2 different ebooks together. And right now it's half off, by the way. It's half off. It's half off. It's almost half off. It's actually not quite half off. It's $27 right now. If you guys, it's not going to be that way for long. It's actually going up to $47 at some point in the future. I am going to go up on it just because of the information in there. And literally, it'll change your life. It is life-changing. It's the most life-changing information that you have ever had. And if you'll apply the information, it'll change your life forever. Can stress cause autoimmune diseases? 100%. And let me tell you how, Darwin, yeah. Here's how that causes that. Stress causes leaky gut. Leaky gut causes autoimmune conditions. 100%. A little stress is okay, but chronic stress and long-term stress, that's not okay. That does cause leaky gut, and that's in my free guide. You can go download the studies and stuff there. You can do a PubMed. That's really easy. Dilly, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Rephrase that question. I'm not really sure. If it's me, if you're talking about like scams or does it actually work? I mean, I cite the studies. In my stuff, if you look at it like that, I've worked with hundreds of clients. I healed myself. I've done this myself. I've overcome autoimmune conditions and leaky gut and severe digestive issues. Like 10 years of being on omeprazole and Nexium and all the worst medications that you could be on and busting up biofilms. I did it, so it's not a scam. It's just, are you willing to put in the work and the time that it takes to get you there? That's what it comes down to. There is no quick fix when it comes to health. There is no supplement that you can take when it comes to health to fix something like autoimmune diseases or chronic health diseases. And I know everybody doesn't like to hear that. There are supplements to take to help, but you got to put in the work. That's it. It took me 2 years to put in the work. I didn't have a guide. Nobody was teaching me like I'm teaching you guys. TikTok didn't even exist, first off. Lives didn't exist. Reels didn't exist. YouTube was barely, in its heyday or whatever. This was 15 years ago is when all this started. So this didn't exist. I'm giving you guys the steps that I've been through that personally worked for me and hundreds of my clients at this point. So it's not a scam. It's just, will you put in the work that it takes? That's what it comes out. That's what it comes down to. Dilly, a preview of what's in the ebook. Go download the free guide. That's the preview. That's kind of like the preview and kind of like the beginner's version. That's kind of like somebody that wants to test it out. You're not sure. You're getting ready. It's kind of like this. The difference is between the free version and then the paid version is that the free version is like you're ready to buy a new car. You want to go to the dealership and test drive it first and make sure you like it. That's the free version. You're like, hey, yeah, I feel good. My gut's feeling good. I'm actually getting results. I need to dig deeper. I need to know the details. I need to know exactly what's causing this, what I can do about it, how to fix it, what nutrients to take, what foods to stay away from, what this is happening, methods to do this. That's what the free guide is. That the free guide is to kind of get you introduced and to see if it resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't buy it. I don't want you to buy something that you don't need or doesn't resonate with you. You know right here in your heart and in your gut if it resonates with you or not. I do not want you to buy anything. I'm not selling you anything. I am persuading you to do something that you already know deep down inside is the right step. That's all I'm doing. I'm just giving you an option. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I don't want you to buy it if you're not, I don't want you to buy it if that's not what you want to do. I want you to do it if that resonates with you. Let's see. Holy cow. Tony came out of a wheelchair 3 years ago running a 40-yard dash. Good for you, my guy. Good for you. That's impressive. That really is. Good for you. Good for you. Alkaline herbs, 100%. Alkaline herbs. Any tips to soothe or heal the gut lining? That is a tricky one. If you've got H. pylori, a lot of the time, what happens is that creates a biofilm. H. pylori, if you actually get it in the gut or in your stomach or in your intestines, H. pylori is natural. It's supposed to be there into some degree, but if it turns into a problem, it usually creates a biofilm. So what you need to do is you really need to go after the biofilms. Things like enzyme therapy, things like serapeptase, things like nattokinase, lumbrokinase, things like that help break down fibroids and fibrins and things like that. Take those on an empty stomach, for 30 days or whatever. And that'll break down that biofilm that H. pylori is hiding in. If you can't get over it, there's a reason. It's hiding behind a biofilm. Not sure what biofilms are? Go look it up. It's mind-blowing. There's a video on YouTube called Why Am I Still Sick? It's a documentary. it'll blow your mind. But the biofilms, start there, bust up the biofilms, and then you can take things like slippery elm bark, take things like licorice root, take things like marshmallow root. Those are herbs that you can take to kind of soothe and coat your digestive tract, while you're dealing with the H. pylori. But if you don't go after the biofilm, you'll do this forever. And that's why it took me 2 years to heal, was because I would knock the candida down, but what would happen is they would go back and just hide in the biofilm and reproduce, and then they would come back 2 weeks, a month later. I'd have the same symptoms over and over and over, and I did that for 2 years. And then I accidentally figured out that taking these enzymes will bust up the biofilms. Back then, I didn't even know what biofilms were. I accidentally healed myself from a holistic doctor that talked about fibroids. I was actually going after fibroids and fibroid tissues and calcification in my body. I was actually going after that. I wasn't even going after biofilms. It wasn't until here recently that I actually figured out that the enzyme, that you can use enzymes for biofilms, and that's actually, I accidentally healed myself that way. So that's why it's so important that you go after the biofilms or whatever, because if you don't go after the biofilms, the candida, the yeast, the mold, the parasites, they're going to come back because they're hiding behind that biofilm. It's like a protective shell that your immune system can't get behind. And I go over all this in my book, and that's why if you guys are having these conditions, that's why I say go buy the book. I can't explain this 50 times on the lives or whatever. There's just so much to explain, and I wrote a 150-page book on biofilms. Go buy it. It's $27, guys. I mean, you guys spend that much on coffee a week. Go buy that, and you'll learn what biofilms are, and you'll understand how that's happening. And then 2, if you don't want to do that, go watch the movie on YouTube for free. Why Am I Still Sick? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I get to talking. I appreciate you guys. I get to talking a lot on here, and I miss a lot of questions. What about enzymes? Enzymes, huh?
What enzymes, please?
What enzymes? Enzymes. Again, go buy the book. The book is going to give you literally the list. There's about 10 of them that you can take, but the 3 main ones, write this down. The 3 main books that I want you to, that I took. This is what got rid of it for me, and this is what's in most formulations out there right now. Nattokinase, very easy to find, serrapeptase, and lumbrokinase. There's other things like amylase and cellulase and things like that. Those all help. There's 3 brands that I recommend out there right now. Native Formula, I think they have one. It's called Restore 3. And then there's one by Kirkman, which I think is like, what is Kirkman? Is that Costco's brand?
Yes.
Kirkman supplements, they have one as well. But you can basically, systemic enzymes is what you're looking for. And the enzymes will break down the biofilms that are either in your stomach, that are in your gut, that are in your heart, that are in your sinuses. Biofilms go everywhere. That's one of the biggest causes of heart disease nowadays, and you can't really see it with the naked eye or with a scope. That's the problem when doctors go in and do endoscopies, or they do go up the other way and do colonoscopies. You can't really see biofilms with the naked eye or with a camera because they're microscopic. They're almost see-through. It's not like these big protruding masses that you can see. You almost can't see it. It's a mucousy film that looks just like your regular mucus film over your thing. So that's why doctors say, I've never seen a biofilm in my life. The reason is because they're not thick. You can't tell the difference between intestine and basically regular mucosal layer. You can't tell the difference. That's why, most people haven't ever seen them. That's why when you do things like coffee enemas or parasite cleanses or biofilm cleanses, these big chunks of things that come out look like worms. They're not worms. Some of them are worms, but these big chunks of things that come out looking like, I don't know what you want to look up. Just look up biofilms online and you'll find out what these things are. They come out looking all slimy. It looks like slime and poop mixed together. People call them worms. They're not worms. Those are biofilms. Go do a couple coffee enemas, and when you let the coffee enema go, you'll see what I'm talking about. That stuff comes out, and those are biofilms. That's what's making you sick. That's what's housing and harboring bacteria and yeast and heavy metals and mold and causing leaky gut. These biofilms steadily cause leaky gut, and that's what's causing inflammation in your gut, causing these chronic health conditions. What is it? I talk too fast. Is that what somebody said? I talk too fast. I did talk fast. I'm sorry. I do talk really fast. I get excited. I really do. I do. I get excited. Yeah, 72-hour fast. Yeah, for sure. That definitely helps. Fasting always helps the gut because it gives your gut it gives your digestive system things. The enzymes. I'm assuming that's what it is. So if you want to get rid of the enzymes, the biofilms, how to help a biofilm on a child, the same way. It's all natural way to the H. pylori. H. pylori is usually a biofilm. Biofilms, 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 biofilms. All right. Biofilms, the way you want to go after biofilms is enzymes and certain types of fruits. Now that's why I say go buy the book, go buy my ebook. I literally just wrote a 150-page ebook on biofilms. I go through the science, the herbs to take. I give you literally like 20 herbs. I give you like 20 supplements. I give you all the things. There's no way I can go over all of it here. The thing that I would tell you to do here that you can start today that's very, very, very easy: enzymes, nattokinase, serrapeptase, and lumbrokinase. Start with those three. You can go look up a biofilm buster. Go look up biofilm buster, and you can find them on just Google it and you'll find it. There's a brand called Native Formulas Restore 3. Use them. That's the simplest, easiest thing you can do right now. That's the place to start. The second thing I would do for biofilms is take black seed oil. Black seed oil, 3 to 5 tablespoons a day along with that. And that's a great place to start. That'll help you get rid of the biofilms. That'll help you get rid of the H. pylori that's in your stomach or in your small intestine. That'll help you get rid of this stuff. Then once you get rid of the biofilms, start working on healing the leaky gut. Start healing. You don't need to wait till you get rid of the biofilms to do that. You need to start on the leaky gut, but you need to work on them in tandem together. That's why I wrote the ebook. That's why it's so powerful, because I literally give you A to Z step-by-step formula on that.
Can you fast with Hashimoto's?
Can you fast with Hashimoto's? Yes, you can definitely fast with Hashimoto's. Be careful. Everybody's different. Hashimoto's comes from leaky gut. Remember that. Most of the time, it's a leaky gut issue. Could be a stored trauma and an emotional trauma as well, but a lot of the time, it's what you're eating causing systemic inflammation in your body. But yeah, typically you can fast with Hashimoto's. Yep.
How to get rid of candida?
How to get rid of candida. The best way to get rid of candida is go after the biofilms, because the candida, you can get rid of candida with antibiotics, or not really. You can get rid of candida with an antifungal and things like that. But what happens is the candida are very smart. They know what they're doing. And they create these biofilms. They're called extracellular polysaccharides, and they get behind it, and your immune system can't get to them. So when they realize that you're killing them off with either an antifungal or foods or stuff like that, they get behind it, and therefore you can't kill them anymore. And next thing you know, 2 weeks, 4 weeks later, they come right back. So you got to go after the biofilms if you have chronic candida infections.
Does your lymphatic system need to be in amazing condition before shedding biofilms?
No, absolutely not. Go after the biofilms. You do not have to be in amazing condition, your lymphatic system to be in amazing condition to go after biofilms. 100% no. Go after biofilms right now. Go after leaky gut right now. But you also need to make sure you're taking care of your lymphatic system, because that's where the metabolic and the acid waste and all that stuff goes. So yeah, you need to make sure you're doing that, herbs and dry brushing and moving and stuff like that. So yeah, take care of, do all the above. Little Jessie. So we are doing clients. I haven't actually announced this yet. It's kind of a secret. It is live on my thing right now. We are doing clients again, but it's a very strict, we are only doing things that's inside our wheelhouse this time. Last year, I did way too much outside my wheelhouse, and it stressed me out too much, and I can't do that again. I'm not going to do that again. So basically, we're working with people that want to focus on gut health, autoimmune conditions, chronic health conditions, and things like that right now. We want to work on biofilms. We're working on the gut. So if you want to do that, yes, we can do that again. We'll do that again. We've opened up the calls for the coaching program again. Haven't announced that yet. I guess I just did. I guess I just kind of announced that. But yes, we are, just to answer your question. D, yes, we can do testing. I personally don't test. Obviously, we don't have a lab here, but we can do things with Viome. We can do things with Biome. We can do things with other companies. Equilife. We can do other things, and I can help you interpret your test if you want to. Yes, and I think you should. Let me get this. I think everybody should test. If you'll test and you'll spend the money on the test, you can cut your time down in half. So it may take, somebody say, it may take you 3 months to heal. If you'll test yourself and test your microbiome and find out what food you're allergic to and what's going on, you can cut your learning curve in half or more. But you don't have to. I didn't, and I know most of my clients didn't test either. But the ones that do, those are the ones that heal the quickest. So if you spend the money, spend a couple $100, get tested, and that way you can find out what your microbiome is like. You can find out what you're allergic to. You can find out what your body likes to eat. Because when you eliminate all that stuff, you cut your time in half, and that's the way to go.
Can you use enzymes if you have a suspected stomach ulcer?
Can you use enzymes if you have a suspected stomach ulcer? Again, always remember, this is not medical advice, and I'm not giving medical advice. Always check with your medical practitioner. But from my perspective, would I do that? 100%. Because a lot of the time, H. pylori, which is a biofilm, and biofilms can cause ulcers in the stomach. So be careful, test yourself, and find out. If you feel really bad with it, it's not like acid. These enzymes they really shouldn't affect, ulcers and things like that. If it does, either slow down on it or, go another route as far as that goes.
How do you test microbiome? By blood test?
How do you test your microbiome? There's a couple ways. There's a company called Viome. That's Viome. That's probably the best company out right now testing the microbiome. But they'll take a stool sample, and it's just like what it sounds. You'll send it off to them, and they'll do it that way. And you can do a blood test as well to find out if you've got leaky gut, like a blood zonulin test, like a blood or a zonulin serum test or whatever. That you can do those as well. But a biome test would be, through a stool test or whatever.
And somebody said, I can't wait to go home and start reading a book.
Yes, the book is, I'm telling you guys, I promise you. Everybody, I notice this, and I'll be honest with you, I try to be an open book, and this is why I hope you guys like me. This is why I want to connect with you. There's a lot of people out there that are gurus on the internet right now. There's a lot of people that are spreading, false information out there. There's a lot of people that are doing things that are unethical out there right now, selling ebooks that are literally just copy and paste from somebody else's ebook. They're trying to just get you to buy the program, to get your money. That's what a lot of people do out there. I hope you guys have been rocking with me long enough to know, like, my lives here. I'm literally giving you everything. I'm not holding anything back. I'm giving you everything. If you ask, I'm telling you stuff that's in my high-ticket program. I'm telling you stuff that's in my ebook. I'm telling you everything. When you buy my ebook, you're going to be mind blown. There's 160 pages. Tell me when you've ever got an ebook that was 160 pages of health information. I'm sure there's some out there, but most people's ebook that you're buying for $27, they're usually 10 to 15 to 20 pages. I've spent $50 on a 10-page ebook before, 5-page ebook actually. So, I'm not trying to just get your money. If you don't feel right with me, you're not resonating with me, you're not like, hey, that doesn't resonate with me, go to the next person. Somebody's got something for you. Everything is not for everybody. Like somebody says, I may not be your cup of tea. I may not be your cup of tea, and if I'm not your cup of tea, that's okay. I'm just trying to give you all the helpful information that I can. And my ebook is literally 15 years worth of research that I have put into that. If you want to know everything that I have told you here today, go download that ebook. I can't go over it.
No hard copy.
No hard copy yet. There will be a hard copy. I promise you, I am going to make a hard copy. I will do a hard copy eventually. I don't have a hard copy yet just because of production costs. It costs a lot of money to do those things, especially even if you do like self-fulfillment things, and I just haven't quite got there yet. I just got it wrote. I literally just got it wrote. But yes, in the next couple months, I will be working on a hard copy for those that like hard copies as well. Yes, it will be done.
Any recommendations for colitis?
Ulcerative colitis. Yes, ulcerative colitis typically, from what I've experienced with my clients, and that was one thing that the doctors were suspecting of me right before they gave up on me, was ulcerative colitis, because I was noticing a lot of blood and, in the stool and everything. A lot of that stems from a leaky gut issue. It can be a stored trauma as well, but a lot of that stems from a leaky gut issue. So, biofilms. Anything in the large intestine usually comes from a biofilm in the large intestine. Again, the enzyme formula is really good for that. Enzymes are really good for that. For ulcerative colitis, start with that. Start with the leaky gut. Clean your diet up. You'll get better pretty quickly.
What does your consult call discuss?
The consultation call, what does it discuss? In the consultation call, basically what we're going to do in our first consultation call is we're going to find out basically where you are, what you're doing, and what your health goals are, and find out if what I teach is right for you. If it's not right for you, I'm going to tell you where to go. I'm going to tell you the information to look up. I'm going to give you my teachers. I'm going to give you the people I look up to. I'm going to tell you the doctors to look up. I'm going to give you all the information that you need, regardless of whether you work with me past that or not. Is kind of, up to me and you whether we decide that we're good for each other. I'm going to give you pretty much everything for your personal situation, because everybody's different. Everybody's got a different question here. Everybody's in a different place. Everybody's budget is different. Everybody's money situation is different. Everything is different. So therefore, I give you your personal situation, and I give you recommendations on what I would do if I were you. Remember, I'm not giving medical advice, but I'm giving you what I would do if I were you in your exact shoes. That's what we do on the on the consultation calls. And then if we decide that we're good for each other, then we'll look at what kind of coaching plan would be good for you or whatever. Most of the time, this time around, I'm not taking that many people. I'm going to do probably 25 coaching clients this time around. Last time I had like 100. I will not do that again. Will not do that again. That was too much. Enzymes bust up the biofilms. Independent thinker. I like that. Oh yeah, make sure you guys are following the channel. I haven't even said that one time this time. Make sure you're following the channel, by the way. If you're not already following, make sure you're following the channel. I do these lives all the time. I got free information up here. Click on the profile, go to my page or whatever. But the enzymes bust up the biofilms. The biofilms it's basically digestive plaque in your small intestine and in your large intestine, and it's basically an extra cellular polysaccharide is what it is. It's basically a sticky substance that candida, yeast, mold, parasites, heavy metals get behind and hide and thrive in. And the only way to bust those down or use enzymes. It's the fastest way. It's not the only way. There are other ways like turmeric and black seed oil, but the fastest way to bust these biofilms up so your immune system can actually do its job now and kill the yeast and candida mold overgrowth is by using the enzymes. Enzyme therapy, nattokinase, serrapeptase, lumbrokinase. And the brand that I recommend that you guys use is Native Formulas. Just go Google it and start taking it on an empty stomach 2 or 3 times a day. And within 45 days, you're going to see improved conditions of whatever it is that you're having issues with, especially if it's candida and stuff like that.
What's your life been like since you healed?
What's my life been like since I've healed? It has been absolutely amazing because I had 2 autoimmune conditions at one time. Arthritic conditions, my joints hurt, my knees hurt, my neck hurt. A lot of things were very painful. I had blood in my stool. I couldn't, I had to take, proton pump inhibitors like Nexium and all that stuff. I couldn't eat tomato sauce. I couldn't eat pasta. I couldn't eat certain things. I couldn't digest certain things. After I've healed, it's been absolutely phenomenal because I can eat normal again. I can eat, steak again. I can eat pasta if I want to. I don't recommend eating a lot of pasta. But if you want to eat some good Italian, organic pasta, go for it every now and then. I don't have issues, I'm not backed up for 2 or 3 days at a time. I don't have, bloody diarrhea anymore. My life, I feel good. I have energy. As you guys see, I have a lot of energy. I talk fast. I have, I have a pizzazz for life and health. So,
is it possible to heal the gut after 3 gastric bypass surgeries?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Gastric bypass surgeries. Can you heal the gut? Yes, you can heal. You can. You can make it better.
Take a long time.
It may take you a little while. You may be a case where it may take you 3 months or 6 months to heal, but yes, you can do that because you've got scar tissue in your gut now. And that's why you need to take the enzymes. Those enzymes that I was telling you about, like from native formulas, like nattokinase, it breaks down scar tissue. It breaks down fibroids. It breaks down that stuff. So yeah, you would be good to start taking those things. To if you've had 3 gastric surgeries, 100%. I don't like to say that you will 100% heal, but you can improve your condition for sure.
Mold detox? Question mark.
Mold detox. Mold is going to go with biofilm and candida as well. Mold will also set up biofilms inside your gut as well as digestive plaque. It'll do the same thing. Mold is serious. Had some mold issues myself, and mold is serious. It is a bad thing. If you've got severe black mold, you definitely need to be working on biofilms because that mold, here's the thing about biofilms. Here's the crazy thing, and I write about this in my book, and you guys can go look this stuff up on PubMed studies. The thing about biofilms, everybody's got them because we all taken antibiotics. If you're like me, you took 17 rounds in a row, but biofilms, what happens is yeast, mold, candida, parasites, they all get together inside these biofilms and they become one organism. They function together. It's not like it's just candida in these biofilms. Mold, black mold, candida get in there. These bacterial parasites get inside there and they function together. They share DNA. They share resistance. They share antibiotic resistance because they pass DNA back to each other. That means they cross species, basically pollinate. That's why these things are so badass and why you've got to go after them is because if you don't, you're going to be steadily having mold issues, toxin issues, endotoxins. Guess what? Mold has to eat. Candida has to eat. And guess what? It poops just like you do. And that stuff is called endotoxin. And it gets inside your blood and it's extremely toxic. It's called endotoxemia, which is what the scientific name for leaky gut is endotoxemia. Whew, my throat's getting dry. Long live here.
Tell somebody ordered a mat and they don't know what that orange plug-in's for. Just tell them it's to check the grounding.
If you ordered the grounding mat and you're not sure what the orange plug is, it's to test your mat. Somebody asked that question. It's to test your mat. Make sure that you plug it in and it's, it'll say completely grounded or whatever. Just read it and it'll tell you. Guys, by the way, if you just hopped on here, I teach you and I show you exactly what to do. If you've got autoimmune conditions, thyroid conditions, leaky gut issues, digestive issues, chronic health conditions, cancer, psoriatic arthritis, I show you how all these things are tied to leaky gut and digestive issues. And I show you exactly how to at least make the condition better. You can improve your condition, and most of the time you can make these things go away if you focus on your gut health. I've got a free gut guide. It's right up there in my store. It doesn't cost you anything. You can go download it. If you've been here a while and you're like, hey, that sounds good. I really want to dig in and I want to go full blast. I'm ready to go balls to the wall. Let's get this thing done. Let's get the healing done. I literally just finished my ebook last night and I just got it live. It's like 160 pages of exactly what to do for biofilms in leaky gut. Go download it. I'm telling you guys, it's life-changing information. Trying to answer all the questions that I can. There's a lot going on here. Mimosa pudica to remove biofilm. I've heard of it. I don't have experience with it, but I have heard of that being used to remove biofilm as well. Yes. I've actually heard of that being used in enemas, but again, go do your own research on that. I don't have any specific.
Do biofilms make it hard to absorb supplements like vitamin D and so on?
Do what?
Do biofilms make it hard to absorb supplements?
Do biofilms? Oh, yes. Okay, so biofilms. Here's another thing. Your small intestine is where you absorb your supplements. If you have biofilms, which most of us do to some degree, depending on how many antibiotics you've taken over your lifetime and never replenished and broken down the biofilms, these biofilms are covering your little cilia that basically do the absorbing. So you're not absorbing the nutrients. That's why a lot of people, a lot of women and men are iron deficient, is because their body, these biofilms, one, are eating the iron, but two, it's going right through you and it's passing right through. That's why you can take all these expensive supplements and they never absorb. You're never actually raising your magnesium level and you're not seeing a difference. Is because these biofilms cause you not to absorb all your nutrients, right?
parasite uses your own calcium for protection as barriers.
Mm-hmm. Parasites do. Yep, that's 100%. They also use your own iron as well. You got a lot of parasites, they'll use up your own iron. Parasites thrive on iron. Biofilms thrive on iron as well. That's why if you're anemic, a lot of the time that just a telltale sign that you have parasites and biofilms, both usually.
Do biofilms cause weight loss?
Biofilms 100% cause weight loss because you can eat 10,000 calories a day and it's not going to be absorbed. It doesn't matter because if you're losing weight, you're not absorbing the calories, you're not absorbing amino acids, you're not absorbing the fats and the nutrients your body needs. You can be skinny as a rail, and eat 10,000 calories because you've got, a lot of the time biofilm is causing that issue or whatever.
Is there any risk of undoing the other supplements if we add digestive enzymes?
I would say no on the undoing the supplements. No, I would say not because you're going to do the digestive enzymes away from your other supplements. You're going to typically do those on an empty stomach. You don't want to take it with food because that stuff will digest the food. If you take it on an empty stomach, it goes into the intestines and digests the biofilm, and then it also gets inside your bloodstream, and so therefore it digests the biofilms that are inside your bloodstream. If you got issues, if you got arthritis, if you've got psoriasis, a lot of that is biofilms that has made it to your skin. It's made it into your joints. It's made it into your sinuses. If you have chronic sinus infections and that won't go away, a lot of that is biofilm, and that's easy to look up.
Doing blood pressure 157.
BPC 157 super expensive. Don't want to undo that. Nah, you're not going to. I don't think. I'm not going to. I'm gonna come back to the child and anxiety. The BPC 157. I've actually heard really good things about it. I don't think you're gonna undo it. Now, if you want to try it alone, I've actually heard the BPC 157 for healing leaky gut and helping with biofilms as well. But it's also that peptide that does a lot of different things. So, child and anxiety and depression, a large majority of the time, and there's some scientific studies I cite in my book that 80 to 90% of your neurotransmitters such as GABA, serotonin, dopamine, acetylcholine are all made inside the lining of your gut. So therefore, if your gut is inflamed, if it doesn't have the right bacteria on it, you're not going to produce the neurotransmitters. So a lot of the time, those neurotransmitters are ran by, is what causes you to have anxiety and depression. So a lot of the time, this is the absence of, the gut, the right microbiome to produce these things. And leaky gut, causes those things. So yeah, anxiety and depression for children, work on their gut health. You can follow the exact same guide right here. I've got a free guide, and then I've got the extensive, super in-depth guide. Either one, follow them. You can do it as an adult or you can do it as a child. It doesn't matter. Just, with the supplements and stuff, usually just be careful with a child, start with them slow. But you can use the exact same things mostly for, children and adults as well.
Prednisone for 8 months, how to repair the gut.
Ooh, prednisone. Prednisone is a gut killer. That right there is a gut killer. If you've been on prednisone for 8 months, which a lot of people were, that was one thing that I was on and prescribed for a long time. That was a thing that destroyed my gut along with antibiotics as well. Prednisone, same thing. Just work on the gut. Take out things that are triggering the gut. Work on busting up the biofilms and work on sealing the gut. Colostrum, collagen. Good things that are going to help seal the gut back again, things that are going to promote gut health. Probiotics. We haven't talked about anything about probiotics on here. I've got the company that, that I represent that I like really good. One of the world's leading researchers created this about gut health is Biome probiotics. They're really good. They've actually got some digestive enzymes in them to break down some biofilms. They've actually got a specific probiotic strain that will also break down biofilms as well. So, the link is up there on my page as well. Try it out. Just see what you think about it. It'll make you feel better.
Speak the truth, my good man.
Thank you, my friend. 16 messages or so many. I try. I'm sorry, guys.
By your foot. just now came across you. I heard you say that you had a book. I'll get that book.
Missy, it's the Biome. We did Biome test. Biome is with the V, as in like violin, is the one that does. Actually, Biome and Viome both do gut testing. Viome custom tailors probiotics to you, and Biome with a B, as in boy, already has. They do gut testing, but they already have a probiotic already kind of made up, so you can do that. So they both are very similar. Very similar.
Where can I get your book?
The book, guys, if you're interested in the book, there's the right up here. Click on the picture. Click on the picture again on the next page, and it'll take you to my profile page. And just right above my videos, you can click on my, it says like Josh Farah Stand Store or something like that or whatever. Click on that. That'll get you the book. Scroll down. There's a free version that kind of gets you started, kind of like the free guide. It's very extensive. I don't remember how many pages are in that free guide. It's a lot, isn't it? Is it like 50 or 60? It's like, I think it's like in the free guide, guys. This is a free guide. A free guide, there's like, I think like 20 or 30 pages. Like most people give you 1 or 2 on a free guide. I give you like a course in the free guide. But if you really want the exact step-by-step formula and exactly what I did, there's no way I could fit that all in a free guide. You have to download the ebook I just finished. The ebook is actually where it's at. I encourage you to skip the free guide, but download the free guide if you just want to kind of test it out. If you're new here, if you don't know who I am, and I'm just some red-bearded stranger, on TikTok that you found today.
Let's see. Blood thinners a way to get off blood thinners for blood clots.
Way to get off blood thinners for blood clots. Hey, this is big. Those systemic enzymes I was telling you will eat up those blood clots the same. It's the same way. Again, not medical advice. Talk to your doctor. Talk to somebody that's smarter than me. I'm not giving medical advice, but there is evidence. I'll tell you this. There's evidence that these blood clots from the thing that everybody got, the thing, those things created blood clots. Obviously, we've been seeing that all over the news. Those same things can be dissolved by these systemic enzymes, nattokinase, serrapeptase, and that kind of stuff. So you can take that as well. I would start there, if you have blood clots, because those enzymes will digest that stuff. It breaks them down. So that's a great place to start. The thing, that's the only way I can say it. They start, my numbers, and it's really strange. Like, look, you see the numbers up there? I dropped. I was at 100, and I said the thing, and it dropped. 25 people. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, they're starting to pick up on the thing now, like the algorithm. I find that really weird. That as soon as I say the thing, the numbers drop. I mean,
I watched somewhere that coconut oil or cayenne pepper.
Joe, keep going though. If you got blood clots, it works the same. I was just saying the blood clots. Keep going. The enzymes, the native formula is who I recommend, but just basically systemic enzymes is what you're looking for.
The Gut Guide is 26 pages.
Gut Guide. All right, so the free Gut Guide is 26 pages. Most people will charge $50 for something like that. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's literally cited studies and everything on it.
Grabbing your book, Love to Connect. Is coconut oil or cayenne pepper good to heal the gut?
Coconut oil and cayenne pepper are both really good to heal the gut. There's this hippie guy on Instagram that talks a lot about this right now. What is his name? He's I can't remember. Something like something about biblical healing or something like that or whatever. It's this long hair, blonde haired hippie guy that talks about coconut oil and cayenne pepper. They are phenomenal for healing the gut. Cayenne pepper is one of the most badass supplements that you can take on a daily basis because it does kill candida. It helps get rid of that. It also breaks down biofilms. Same way with coconut oil. Coconut oil and the caprylic acids and the things that are in that help break down the biofilms and help kill the candida and yeast and mold as well. So yes, they are great for that. That hippie guy on Instagram, his particular methods, I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but they work. Jacob's Link, that's it. That's him. Or Jacob's Ladder, Jacob's Link, or something like that. Yeah, that's exactly right. I've seen him on there, and I don't necessarily always agree with his particular methods, especially, well, we won't go into that, but yeah. We won't go into that. But yes, that's him. And yes, he has a lot of good points. And yes, his stuff is very valid when it comes down to, he talks about, just like me, most issues deal with the gut health. Salt, same way. Celtic sea salt or gray sea salt, really good for the gut. Cayenne pepper, really for the gut. Black seed oil, really for the gut. A lot of the same things, lime, a lot of the same stuff that he teaches. I teach the same stuff. I just go in a little bit different depth, and I go a lot deeper than he goes on his stuff or whatever. Let's see. One should take both native formulas and Biome, not one or the other. Yes, I would do personally. I would do both. I would take the native formulas and I would take the Biome, that as well. Yes, you can just cook with those things 100%. Usually if I eat beef or something like that, I'll put, some lime, I'll put a lot of cayenne pepper on it. I'll make it spicy, and some coconut oil. I also mix, another good thing to do if you're going to drink coffee. I drink coffee. If you're going to drink coffee, what you should do is make the most nutritious, healthy coffee you can make. Like in the morning when I make my coffee, I make a bougie coffee. I put grass-fed butter in it. I put a big old scoop of coconut oil in it. I put some collagen in it. I put some salt in it, some gray sea salt in it. I put all kinds of stuff in it. Colostrum when we got it. Some different things, when we've got the stuff. And make it and blend it all together and make this delicious. It's almost like bulletproof coffee. It's so good. If you're going to drink coffee, that's a great way to get coconut oil and salt in your diet first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Is a really good thing to do. If you're not into coffee, I don't recommend start drinking it. Don't start if you don't already do it. Caffeine is not necessarily good for you. How long did it take for muscle and joint pain to go away with the diet? See, here's the thing. I'll tell you what I've seen with my clients. I can't tell you for me because it took about 2 years for me to heal myself by doing this because I was doing trial and error stuff. I didn't have somebody. Health coaching was not a thing. TikTok wasn't here. Instagram wasn't here. TikTok Live wasn't here. So I didn't have this stuff, and I didn't have guides and health coaching and stuff. So I was experimenting with books. So it took me about 2 years to heal. But if you really buckled down from joint pain and you really buckled down and did what's in my book and you stuck with it and you went hard, and I mean hard. I'm not talking dilly-dallying and eating a little bit of this and eating a little bit of that. I'm talking if you follow what's in the book, you'll feel better in 30 to 45 days. Your joint pain will start to go away very quickly because most of that is inflammation. And when you reduce the inflammation by the things I'm telling you about, things will get so much better quickly. By the way, guys, if you're just jumping on, I teach you why autoimmune diseases and chronic health conditions and cancer and all that stuff is tied to leaky gut issues. That leaky gut is simply when your small intestine becomes permeable and starts letting in bacteria and heavy metals and yeast and mold and parasites into your bloodstream because you've got little cilia, hair-like structures that absorb nutrients normally. But when you take antibiotics or eat foods that destroy that, your tight junctions that line the 22 feet of your small intestine, they open up. Now that's a direct path into the bloodstream. Now you got yeast and mold and candida and food particles and amino acids and stuff that don't need to be in your blood, causing a massive immune system response. And when that happens over time, your rain bucket is going to fill up. Your 5-gallon bucket, picture your body as a 5-gallon bucket. It'll take a little inflammation. It'll take a little leaky gut. But over time, it's going to spill over. And when it spills over, that's when you get things like autoimmune diseases, leaky gut diseases, digestive issues, and things like that. So when you're doing those things, I got you, my friend. I got you. When you do those things stem from leaky gut. Most health conditions, this is, one of the leading researching doctors in the world on gut health, has hypothesized that somewhere between 80 and 90% of all health conditions, everything that can go from ear infection to sinus infections to being sick all the time to literally everything, stems from your gut leaking too much high intestinal permeability, letting things in the body, causing an immune reaction. Over time creates these issues. Now, if it doesn't directly cause it, it makes it 10 times worse. And that's why somebody asked a second ago, how long will it take for the joint pain to go away? When you stop basically poisoning yourself. And the bad thing is, guys, you got to eat. That's the problem. Is if you take antibiotics or whatever, for instance, let's say you take a round of antibiotics and you destroy your gut microbiome, which creates inflammation in the gut, which destroys the tight junctions. Now when you eat, some of that food particle is going to go inside your body, creating an immune response. There's nothing you can do about it besides seal that gut back up. You got to seal the gut back up, which means take out the triggers, alcohol, poisons, toxins, gluten, caffeine, stuff like that. Take that stuff out, pull out the triggers. That's why I recommend everybody always get tested. That way you can find out what foods are triggering your body's immune reaction. Then you can take those out. Then you can take that stuff out. Now, they're not always, not going there. Get tested, and then that way you can reduce the inflammation in your body. Can you eat any fruit on the Candida diet? Typically, yes, but you got to be careful on the Candida diet with fruit. I don't necessarily recommend an all fruit diet unless you know exactly what you're doing with that, because you can create more issues with Candida if you don't know exactly the steps to take. That's why I recommend a higher protein. I see better results with my clients when they do a higher protein and mix in fruits and vegetables with that. So for instance, like for breakfast, what I would recommend somebody on a Candida diet or whatever, you got Candida, first off, you need to be taking the supplements and the enzymes. But for breakfast, for instance, what I would recommend for somebody for breakfast on this would be like a low carb diet. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. A handful altogether. Eat that first, and then maybe a little bit of grass-fed beef. Grass-fed ground beef or something. There's your breakfast. It's simple, it's easy, a little salt, a little butter, whatever. It's simple and easy. It's high protein, low carb. The protein, or you're going to get the nutrients from the berries to help bust up the biofilms and to help you with that. You're still getting fiber from the berries and stuff like that. Some apples are okay, stuff like that.
I want to know what test you were just talking about.
What test I was just talking about was getting your gut microbiome tested. I would recommend getting your gut microbiome tested, especially if you've never done this before and you've got a little bit of money to spare and you want to cut your learning curve down by half. Go get your microbiome tested by the company Viome. That's Biome. And they'll test your gut microbiome, and that'll also tell you what's in your gut. If you've got an overgrowth of bacteria, it'll tell you your inflammatory markers. It'll tell you a lot of different things. And it'll also tell you any foods that you're allergic to, so that way you're not damaging your body. Because if you're steadily eating foods that your body does not like, if your blood type is allergic to it, by the way, go read the book, to Eat for Your Blood Type, if you don't know what that is. If you're eating things that your body doesn't like or digest right, you're going to create inflammation. You're going to create an inflammatory marker in your body, regardless if you have leaky gut or not. So you got to make sure and find out what you're allergic to and stay away from that stuff.
Closing questions.
So let's see. Let's do some closing questions. What about Jay? I saw he had a bunch of questions here. Okay. All right. Jay. That's a deep question, my friend. The first thing I would do, work on your leaky gut. Leaky gut is directly tied to ulcerative colitis, also biofilms. The best thing that you can do, Jay, the best advice I can give you right now, because we're coming to a close on this live, is go download this book I just wrote. I just wrote an ebook. It's 160 pages on exactly how to bust up the biofilms, and the biofilms are usually what are causing the ulcerative colitis. You got biofilms down there, and you got leaky gut. Both of those things contribute to this. If you'll fix those two things very quickly, you'll see results really quickly. It's that simple, my friend. You can also, if you guys want to book a call with me, I did mention it earlier. But I am taking a few calls right now. If you want to do that, now's the time to get in, because I'm not going to be doing a bunch of them. I'm not taking a bunch of coaching clients right now. So if you want to get in on it, there's a really good price on it. Same place up here. Just go to my store. My ebooks in my store. My free guides in my store. Make sure you're following here. I'm probably going to do another live tonight, just because of we've released the ebook or whatever. And I'm pretty fired up about it, if you guys can't tell.
This chick's been dairy-free for 3.5 years, and she's kind of excited about eating real butter.
Who said that? What she said? Alicia. I've been dairy-free for 3.5 years. Prospects of eating real butter again. Yes. See, here's the thing, Alicia. I wouldn't necessarily go back with like milk. I wouldn't do that, or yogurt or anything like that, because that does cause inflammation. But if you get like a good grass-fed butter, like Kerrygold, or if you guys got like a Whole Foods, you guys can find like an organic grass-fed butter. Grass-fed butter is phenomenal. You can also use ghee. Ghee doesn't have any of the lactose in it. It's basically clarified butter. So if you do introduce some butter back in and it doesn't feel good for you, just use ghee. Use some grass-fed ghee or whatever. It's really good for you. The grass-fed butter is really good for your digestive tract because it helps your intestines create butyrate. And butyrate is actually what helps your body produce the neurotransmitters like serotonin. So it actually is really good and calming for you. So butter's good. I eat a lot of butter. I don't do a lot of dairy.
Say that the calls are Central Standard Time and what time you're going to get live tonight.
Okay. So finishing up on questions here, the calls that we do is in Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time here in the United States. We do calls outside the States, but just make sure, that we're lining up to Central Standard Time here, Central Standard. Live tonight, it's 1 o'clock now. Usually 7 o'clock is a pretty good time.
7, 8-ish.
So I'm going to say there's somewhere over here. I don't know how this works. There's somewhere on this page right here, guys. If you want to catch the live tonight, we're going to talk about a lot of the same stuff, but we're going to talk about some different things as well. Take some questions. There's somewhere over here you can set a notification. Do you know where that is? Mm-hmm. There's a notification. You can find out when I go live again.
Yeah, you click on your name.
Okay. Click, all right.
Click on mine, and then...
Gotcha. All right, so click on my name right here. If you want to find out the live tonight, click on my name right here. If you're interested in that, want to come back, click on my name, and there's a little notification or whatever, and it should send you a notification when we go live again tonight. We're going to do it again. So if you guys are just here, talking to you about why autoimmune conditions and leaky gut and digestive conditions and chronic diseases are all tied to leaky gut. And if you'll simply focus on healing your gut health and healing your digestive system, the rest of your body will follow suit. Over time, over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you'll see a reduction in symptoms. And I've seen people go completely symptom-free and heal these things, myself included. I have seen miracles by working on your gut health. Simply focus on your gut health and the rest of the body will follow suit. Again, I got a free guide up there, guys. If you're interested and want to just kind of get a taste of it, come back tonight, download the free guide. Yeah, you can read it and come back. Read it, come back, bring your questions back. Go download the free guide, read it, come back, and then you can ask your questions later on tonight. It's going to be probably about 7:30 to 8 o'clock Central Standard Time tonight is when we're going to do the call again. So I hope to see every one of you guys back. Make sure you're following the page. Make sure any kind of videos that pop up, any kind of likes or anything like that would be much appreciated. That would help. That helps, the algorithm get out there, and that helps us all heal this really strange world that we live in. That you don't even directly have to necessarily do anything to help heal the world. If you can just help me get my message out there, that will actually in turn help us heal the world. That will help us all get along better because we're all one. We all got to get along. We've all got to take care of each other. We're all in this together, and we all need to make sure that we're doing our part. And the simple way to do this is to simple. All you got to do is just like some of my videos, comment on the videos, just make sure, just show some love. That's it. You ain't even got to buy anything. Just show some love. It's free. Some likes on here is free. Ooh, my throat's getting tired. I think I'm going to hop off here.
Soft speaking.
Huh?
You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today. I love all of you. If you got any questions, reach out. I'm on Instagram as well. If you got questions, I get so many messages on here on TikTok. There's no way to answer them all. I can't get to them. Go find me on Instagram. Josh Ferris on Instagram. I'm on there, the Gut Guide. Go find me on Instagram. I typically can answer those questions better. I answer those a little bit more frequently because I don't get as many. I don't have nearly as many followers on there. So, I think that's all I got, friends. My throat is I'm giving out a little bit. I love each and every one of you. I hope to see you back tonight. Free guide up there. Nice ebook up there. Go check it out. If you got any questions, let me know. Love you. Talk to you soon.